Pokémon come in all shapes and sizes. Strong, weak, cute, threatening, friendly, and whatever cramorant is supposed to make the human brain feel. But today, we're gonna go deep in the Pokémon memory holes to compile a list of the 5 least interesting, most forgettable evolution lines that may as well have not been in the Kanto games. Starting at number 5, we have Wigglytuff. Jigglypuff is definitely a star Pokemon in the anime due to its lullaby-inducing sleep antics. However, as far as the games go, it is truly one of the most forgettable Pokemon to ever use the move Pound. It's not strong, not bulky, not fast, and despite having a great move pool that only makes it exactly try to do the same things as Clefable, but be slightly yet noticeably worse all the time. Moreover, you encounter Jigglypuff and Clefairy at around the same points in Kanto, need the same item to evolve it, and even the designs are arguably similar since both are cute little normal types, which makes Wigglytuff very redundant of a Pokemon. If Clefairy did not get Sing, Wigglytuff would have had that as a redeeming quality, but alas, as is, Wigglytuff is definitely not the most S-tier Pokemon ever. One way we could try and fix Wigglytuff is to give it a bit more special and more importantly access to TM Soft Boil. Soft Boiled would not only give Wigglytuff a recovery move that is not rest, a rare trait for a Gen 1 Pokemon, but also give it Soft Boiled out of battle effect, where Wigglytuff can give some of its HP to its teammates. This is perfect for Wigglytuff in particular, since its only great stat is its base HP of 140. This would turn Wigglytuff into an early game version of Chansey, thus giving it a bit more personality as a Pokemon. At number 4, we have Sandslash. Sandslash is one of 3 pure ground evolution lines in Kanto, the other 2 being Dugtrio and Marowak. Now, Sandslash seems kind of promising. It has a decently badass design in Gen 1 Slash, but look at this level up move pool. This thing gets no ground moves at all, and as for its stats, it falls in the same position as Marowak, though being slightly better overall. Of course, we could not have put Marowak in the most forgettable Gen 1 Pokemon list because of its importance for the storyline, beating the Ghost Marowak in Lavender Town, and all that Sandslash adds to that is the move Slash and a little bit of stats while being overall the same. Not impressive. If we were to try and make a less forgettable Sandslash, we would give it access to more good moves naturally, such as Pin Missile and Dig. We would also buff Marowak's special stat to give it more of a niche as a special move user, since it learns many good special moves such as Fire Blast, Blizzard, and Bubble Beam for some reason. This will help the 2 Pokemon feel more different and thus reduce redundancy. Moving to number 3, we have Venomoth. Gen 1 definitely happened before it was discovered that Bug-type Pokemon could be, good. But Venomoth in particular is very infuriating for a number of reasons. First of all, Venonat evolves at a whopping level 31, and if that doesn't annoy you, I would have you know that thing has less stats than freaking Charmander. Even worse, that thing does not get any decent stab moves, with its only bug move being the hilariously weak Leech Life, and does not get a single poison type damaging move at all, forcing it to rely on psychic attacks for damage. And if you think Gen 1 Psychic is a decent move at least, I wish you fun waiting for level 50 to learn it. The same being true for Sleep Powder at level 43. Venomoth overall tries to be a better Butterfree, but fails miserably due to how late you get it and how even later you get to evolve it, all for a very slight edge over the Butterfly, which is a great concept due to early evolution and access to Sleep Powder at 17. Heck, even the role of the outright trash bug-type Pokemon is better filled by Parasect, who manages to both be incredibly bad and have some obscure yet technically redeeming qualities in Spore and Slash. That thing definitely should have been Psychic and Bug-type. Out of all the Pokemon in this list, Venomoth is the one with the most elegant possible fix, courtesy of Dryanos Storm Silver ROM hack. In Storm Silver, not only is Venomoth's stats buffed, but it's now a Bug and Psychic type, which makes so much sense, given its move pool and Sabrina using it in her team. In fact, Bug Psychic did not exist as a Pokemon type combination until Gen 8, with the introduction of Orbeetle. A slightly buffed Venonat Venomoth with this new typing will be interesting as a faster, but overall less threatening version of Gen 1 Executor. At number 2, we have Seaking. When you look at Goldeen for the first time, your reaction will most likely be, well, that is definitely a fish, and fair enough. A lot of Gen 1 Pokemon are very simple animal based on designs like Zubat, Krabby, Meowth, and even freaking Tauros himself. However, the problem with Goldeen and Seaking is that among the tidal wave of generic water types that Kanto throws at you, Goldeen still manages to somehow be the most boring one out of all of them. It evolves very late at 33, learns no water moves until level 39, and despite the move it actually learns being Waterfall, a signature move of the Light in Gen 1, that does not even begin to matter when every water type in the game learns Surf, a clearly better move. All of that combined with a bad stat line and no noticeable qualities other than learning Peck for grass types, and you get a Pokemon you will definitely not even be bothered to care about in a world where the likes of Starmie, Gyarados, Tentacruel, and Lapras, and even more exotic options like Poliwrath and Kingler exist. Fixing Seaking is actually a hard thing to do, given how many water types exist in Gen 1, and how all of them are more interesting than Seaking. What we will try to do though is make it available earlier by having the old rod have a chance of pulling up either Goldeen or Magikarp as opposed to just the latter. We also would make it evolve earlier, maybe at 25, and give it better moves such as Water Gun, Bubble Beam, and more interestingly, Drill Peck, as it's known for learning Peck. Before getting to number 1, let's talk about a few of the Pokemon that we considered for this list but did not quite make it. Golbat, Tangela, Porygon, and Seadra. Those Pokemon are definitely very unimpressive. However, they were saved by the fact that each of them evolved into a very interesting Pokemon in future gens, which may be overly generous on our part, but still counted. Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is by all means just a bootleg Nidoking, but its existence was arguably very important as the Nidos are the first instance of a male and female Pokemon, which is probably where the whole idea of Pokemon having genders and the breeding mechanic started, as well as some moves and abilities that hinge on genders like Attract, Captivate, and Cute Charm. Fearow. In spite of how much we like Fearow overall, its status as one of a whopping 4 normal flying evolution lines made us consider it for this list. The alternatives would have been Pidgey, which is definitely the most normie bird Pokemon of all time, but is not hurt by that as the Pokemon universe did need a normie bird, and Pidgey is literally the best fit for that. Farfetch'd was also never going to be in the list as it's an S-tier joke Pokemon, and there was no chance we were ever putting Dodrio on the list of forgettable Pokemon. In fact, Spearow is just an early game Dodrio in that weird place where it has more flavor than Pidgey, but still does not match the real Drill Peck Master. And finally, at number 1, we have Lickitung. I do not have the slightest idea what they were thinking when they designed this thing. It is weak, slow, you get it very late, and it does nothing interesting at all. What the heck is Slam at level 31 and Screech at 39? Lickitung is like a Farfetch'd that fails to be funny while still being clearly worse than Gen 1 Farfetch'd by virtue of the latter getting Stab, Slash, which is deceptively strong. All of that added to the fact that Gen 1 had some of the most iconic normal types ever, like Snorlax, Tauros, Chansey, and even actually interesting bad Pokemon like Ditto and Porygon to some extent. Now, Lickitung, like some of the Pokemon we did not include in this list, evolves in Gen 4 to the better Licky, but Licky itself does not amount to being close to as interesting as Crobat, Tangrowth, or Kingdra, which is all the sadder for our long-tongued normal type friend. When it comes to fixing Lickitung, it is really hard to find ways to do so without making huge changes to the Pokemon. The problem is, given all the cool normal Pokemon that are in the game, it is easy to run out of niches to fill, unless you want to add a new move to the game, which would feel lame to us. Seeing how we are out of ideas for this one, we would love to see what you guys think Lickitung should have been in the comments. On that note, we crown Lickitung as the most forgettable and least interesting Pokemon in all of Kanto. And if you've ever played the Pokemon Gen 1 Sporkle quiz, I think you would agree. And that's it for our top 5 most forgettable Pokemon in Kanto. Feel free to roast our choices in the comment section below and tell us about how Chansey, Snorlax, and Dragonite are the actual forgettable Pokemon of Gen 1. Check out this video where we fixed Pokemon Yellow and our best team for Kanto, and we'll see y'all in the next one.